Ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event of the evening, live from the Coventry Arena for the NMBS Gala Dinner 2024. Introducing your special guest. He comes to us with a professional record of 30 victories versus 3 defeats and 1 draw, with 20 of those wins coming by way of knockout. From Liverpool, England, introducing the former WBC Silver, WBO International, British, Commonwealth, European, and WBC Champion of the World. He played Pretty Ricky Conlon in Creed, and he was the runner-up for I'm a Celebrity. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Tony Bomber Bellew. Tony Bellew. My friend, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me. I can't believe this many people have turned up to watch me talk nonsense. Thank you.
Well, I'm happy because we were able to keep the special guest under wraps. Apparently in previous years, the rumors percolated throughout. So I think for the most part, y'all were surprised. Yes, maybe?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Fresh off vacation. I got to say, you look tan.
Yes, me tans tend to stick a little bit longer with me being mixed race, my mum being black and my dad being white. Me tan seems to stick around for a little bit longer, so yeah, they're the joys of being mixed race, mate. It's a cracker.
Well, Tony, I got to ask, because obviously I introduce people for a living, so that was an honor for me.
Thank you.
But how do I introduce you? Do I do boxer? Do I go actor, philanthropist, small business owner, father? Maybe, hopefully, pro golfer at some point. Who is Tony Bellew?
Big dope. That's what my wife calls me often enough. So, do you know what? I'm just a normal person. I'm the same as everybody else in this room. The only difference that I find, and there might be some in here, I've just been punched in the face for 25 years. That's the only thing that makes me different from all you guys. So, and I've got a screw loose. I admit it openly. None of you are obviously admitting it, but I do. So I'm just a normal person. All of them things I've done, they don't define who I am or what I've been through, and a normal person.
Absolutely. So, I mean, I just mentioned some of the things that you've been able to do in your career, but I want to take it back kind of where it started. This interview could take a few hours if we wanted it to.
Yes.
But I believe it was 13 or 14 years old. You said that you walked into a boxing gym. Is that correct? Do you have any specific memories of that? What it felt like to you?
I went to a place first. And I'm not going to lie, when I first went into a boxing gym, 14, I thought to myself, it's too hard, and it absolutely stunk. Mm-hmm. The smell of sweaty gloves, it just wasn't for me. I thought the training here is so hard, but I knew I had a talent. I could punch from an early age. It's a gift I believe I was given. And yeah, I just thought, I kept flirting about with it, and then I didn't really start taking it serious until I was expelled from school. Mm-hmm. And then I soon realised I better do this because it's the only thing I'm good at. And believe it or not, I was expelled from school for guess what, fighting. And that was the end of it, really. I wasn't fighting. Just to clarify, I wasn't a bully or nothing like that. There was somebody hit a teacher in the school. Now, if it would have been my maths teacher, I would have applauded him and laughed all the way. But a young man decided to burst a carton of Ribena in a female teacher's face. Mm-hmm. I got the wrong end of the stick. I ended up breaking his jaw and knocking all his teeth out, and the school expelled me because I took the force too far. So that went absolutely fantastic, only for the school to invite me back a year later and ask me to do sixth form, to which I'd done the stupid thing and told them no, being a pig-headed fool I was. And yeah, that was my career started in boxing from there on. I had no qualifications after school, and all I was good at was punching people in the face. But it seemed to work out in the end all right, to be fair. So I'm not complaining.
The upbringing does make sense. I think it panned out right for you. But you know, I obviously know about your love of Everton. You're able to have that momentous night at Goodison Park, which we'll get to that in a little bit. But growing up, it sounds like sports, regardless of the sport, were always kind of a big part of your life.
They was. I mean, I'm a huge Everton fan. I don't say that and brag about it in any way, shape or form. I didn't choose. I was chosen 100%. Nobody chooses to support Everton Football Club. We're all a special kind. We're a special breed. Anyone in here who's from the same kind of generation I am, up the toffees, I don't give a shit what anyone else thinks. Like I said, I was chosen. I didn't choose. So, yeah, I mean, sport's been a massive part of my life, and as I said earlier, I definitely think I was chosen to fight. I put on this planet to fight. At 15 years of age, I was working in nightclubs, on nightclub security. I used to stand on the DJ box and tell people they can't come in, and I was 15. That didn't go down too well at times, but then they soon realised why I was put there and what I was actually good at. So yeah, it's just, I've led a bit of a crazy life, but the reason I stuck to boxing, if I'm being totally honest and brutal about it, I just wanted to impress my dad. My dad was someone who I looked up to and really adored and loved. And coming home with 10 GCSEs was never going to impress my father. GCSEs are qualifications. My dad was a fighting man, and he ran Liverpool's nightlife and security. So the way to impress my dad was to show him literally I was the toughest pit bull on the block. And that's what I went and done. So yeah, that's why I continued and strived through sport and then especially through boxing.
34 professional bouts, 30 wins, British, Commonwealth, European, world champion, massive nights, sellouts, pay-per-views, that magical night at Goodison Park,
Yes.
beating the lights of David Hay. Do you have a favorite moment? Is that even possible?
It is, and without a shadow of a doubt, it's Goodison Park. I've been going to Goodison Park since I was 9, 10 years of age, and I always dreamed of playing for Everton Football Club. The fact is, I was too fat and not bleeding good enough. So the closest I was ever going to get to Goodison Park was basically stick a ring in the middle of it and have a fight for a world title. And yeah, my dreams came true that night. I mean, I can't put into words. I've never had any of my children at my fight, but the one that you see there, that's my eldest son at the fight. He's the only fight that he was ever allowed to go to. I knew I was destined that night. I had to do it. Yeah, that was all my dreams came true that night. I'd say it's the greatest night of my life, but obviously my wife has got other things to say about that. So, you know, we've been married, we've got 4 kids, so it was the greatest night of my life, without a shadow of a doubt.
Now, I mean, I've heard you say in interviews before that you've rarely felt nervous fighting. You never necessarily felt nervous, but that night, I ask this question because people deal with nerves very differently, right? Yes. I'm sure people in this room, you all deal with nerves very differently. That night, I mean, were you nervous, and how did you deal with those nerves?
Truly petrified. So I've had basically 90 fights, amateur and pro, through my whole career. I've been nervous for 2 of them. My first ever amateur fight, I was quite nervous because I'd never obviously had a bout before, and that fight in Goodison Park. If I lose that fight, I never go to Goodison Park again. I just couldn't allow myself to walk back in there. The shame. The way I've dealt with my career is, what is the point in being nervous and anxious and worried and wasting all this energy for something? Once you're there, it's going to happen. Embrace what's going to happen. And the reason I was never nervous for all the other fights is because I've prepared to the best of my ability. What will be, will be. I believe I've not cut any corners. I've gave it everything I've got. And like I've said before, what will be the best version of me will be enough. But for the Goodison Park one, like, as I said, slightly different. The first bout my son's ever been allowed to. I knew he was in the crowd somewhere. And this was my defining moment. When you walk into the ring, Goodison Park, I know it's now or never. This isn't an event that can be rescheduled again. This event can only happen at this exact date of the year because of the Premier League and the football grounds, and the season's over. So yeah, literally my life was riding on that. I don't know.
Stars aligned.
They do slightly. I mean, I had a huge injury going into the bout. I'd cracked my rib 2 weeks before it. And I would have pulled out or delayed the fight had it have been any other event, or had it have been any other fight, I'd have simply delayed it. But we couldn't delay, because if you delay by 2 weeks, it's not going to happen at Goodison Park. So there were so many factors that I had to take on board and get through, but ultimately I figured it out. I got there, and thankfully I got the job done, even if he did snap my nose in half in that first round and drop me. I found a way to my feet.
Let's talk about that. I mean, because I think adversity is an important word to talk about, because people face adversity in different ways. You go from that peak of walking out, right? The excitement, everything is there. You're finally accepting the fact that this fight is happening in your home, and you get knocked down.
Yeah. In
that moment, what are you what emotions are going through your head?
So there's no point in me lying to anybody in this room. I'm having a great first round. I'm I knew I had to start fast. I'd studied them relentlessly. I was very diligent in the way I prepared for fights. I prepared perfectly. I'm not the best athlete. Like I said before, I'm the same as everybody else in this room. I was just insanely driven. But I knew exactly what I had to. I had to get rid of this guy within the first 5 rounds. He only gets stronger as the fight goes on. So I start really well. I've hit him with a body shot. I've hit him in the ribs, and he's made the noise, that noise that they all make, the one that you want to hear when you land a body shot. I'm pressing him, and then in the last 20 seconds of the first round, I'm going in and I think, I've hit him. He's feeling these shots. And I've gone in, laid an attack, I've hit him, he's made the noise of the body shots, and now I've pulled out. I should have put a bleeding bow on my chin, wrapped it up and sprinkled some dust on it for him perfectly to take it off. Because I pulled up and put my chin in the air like a fucking ostrich, like a big dope. And basically said, just hit right there, mate, I'm going to go. I pulled out in a straight line, made the cardinal sin, and as I pulled away, he just took the opportunity, and as he punches, he throws the left-hand southpaw, and it comes over. I don't see it, I just see it at the last second. That's the reason why I'm able to get back up. It lands on impact, it lands on the bridge of my nose, it snaps my nose on impact, and it comes down and pushes me jaw backwards. So then my legs, people think like he knocked me over and it was a balance issue. There was nothing balanced about it. He literally took me off my feet and made my legs collapse underneath me. But thankfully, I must have been watching gymnastics that week and done a rollover. And I rolled completely over. I'm up at the count of 3, and I'm walking around the referees, 3, 4, and I'm going to the referee, move out the way, I'm going to kill him. And I told you I had a screw loose at the start of this. So this referee's counting, Victor Loughlin, and he says 5, and I said, move out the way, I'm going to kill him. And he said to me, you're a psychopath. 6, 7. And literally, I'm looking across the ring at my car. Now, I can remember, as he's finished the count of 8, I've took 2 steps and bang, the bell's gone. My legs are strong underneath me. I was supremely fit. Even though I had the injury, it didn't play any part in the fight, but I was so amazingly fit for all these fights. I thought, okay, I've gone out for the second round. I literally thought, and to my knowledge, I thought I knocked him out in the second round. I was concussed that heavily. The second round is completely blank in my mind. It's gone. It's gone from my memory. I thought I'd knocked McCobb out in the second round. I got back to the dressing room after the fight, once it was all over, and someone was saying, it's some second round, we don't have to get knocked out in that first round, knocked down in that first round, isn't it? And they went, Tony, you knocked him out in the third round. I said, no, never. I knocked him out in the second. I said, I don't remember anything from the second round. I don't remember anything from, I was on literally autopilot, and that's how hard he'd hit me. So the third round come out. I only remember the talk at the end of the first. I don't remember the chat at the end of the second round. That's gone. I have to watch it back on Sky. But the third round, I've come out after having a quiet second round, boxing on the back foot, staying away from his left hand. I come out in the third round, engage again, and thankfully, I land that left hook. And to be honest, that left hook would have knocked the horse out. It landed clean. Like, there was no... I hit him, and don't get me wrong, I did try to hit him a couple more times on the way down because I'm sorry to say that's boxing. They're going to do it to you. You make sure he doesn't get back up. And yeah, my dreams came true. I can't put it into words what it meant to me. My wildest dreams beyond measure came true when that left hook landed, and yeah, thankfully it was over.
You mentioned Dave Caldwell, and I want to ask this question because we're with NMBS tonight, and I think a lot of people, I mean, you've traveled the world, you've met so many people, and I think it takes, even though you're the individual in the boxing, it sometimes takes a team around you, and people that could be classified as unsung heroes. With NMBS, I think a lot of people that are here tonight could be classified as unsung heroes. They help build communities and homes and businesses, and they really are kind of the building blocks of those communities. I'm curious, in your career, are there any unsung heroes that we necessarily wouldn't know?
My family, my wife and my kids. Without them, there's not a chance I'd be able to do. Without her, I wouldn't have been able to achieve what I've achieved. My father, my dad left home when I was 10, but he was still a massive part of my life. A huge part of my mother, you know. All these things. I've got childhood friends that I've still had from school. Everyone plays the part. I know ultimately I get in the ring and fight, but it's that group and that family-orientated feel around you that you need. Without a shadow of a doubt, I couldn't have done it on my own. And you're battling against so many different forces in the world of boxing, whether it's against promoters, whether it's against managers. Everyone's got a different agenda. And the more that you can come together and get the help from other people, the better it was. And as I said, like I said before, I can't state enough, I wouldn't have been able to achieve anything without me missus and my kids.
Fantastic. Now, yeah, give a round of applause for that one. We could sit here and talk about your boxing career for hours, obviously, but we do want to kind of highlight some other things that you've done in your career. You've done a lot. Okay. Specifically, I want to talk a little bit about your acting career. I got to ask, you get a call, Tony, we want you in Creed. Your thoughts when that happens? Or was it that simple?
I wish I could say it was that simple. I thought it was a wind-up, I'm not going to lie. Everton had just been bounced 6-3 by Chelsea at home. Diego Costa had just scored a hat-trick past us at Goodison Park. I was furious. And I thought some fella phoned me up and said, we want you to be in the next Rocky movie. I just told him to piss off. I said a lot more different words than piss off, believe you me. I had a few extra ones, but I think I'll leave them in the house for now. I thought it was a wind-up, yeah. And then best part was I was going to get me last takeaway meal before I was going to fight Nathan Cleverly, go into camp to fight Nathan Cleverly for the second time. So I was on my way to the Indian, and I was literally ordering everything you could possibly imagine, knowing it's the last takeaway I'm going to have for 3 months. And this guy was phoning up saying, you know, you're going to be in the next Sylvester Stallone movie. And I was just like, listen, mate, fuck off. I'm trying to get me food. At this stage, I'm phoning my wife and told her and said, this fella's phone wants me to be in a Rocky movie. The word she said to me, don't you be so bloody naive, you stupid idiot. Just bring our final takeaway home and just ignore him. He phoned back. In the end, I asked him where he got the number from. He got it off a kid called Ross Barkley, who used to play for Everton. And yeah, it went on from there. So I thought it was a wind-up. It ended up working out. And I can't believe it. Little fat kid from Liverpool's been in a Rocky movie. It's nuts.
It's an amazing story. What's interesting to me is you go from a very intense, cutthroat industry, which is professional boxing, and I'm being polite, probably.
Yes, definitely.
And then you go to Hollywood, which arguably is even more cutthroat and dangerous, etc. In that moment, I mean, were you kind of intimidated, I guess, for lack of a better word?
Do you know what? I mean, the best way to explain it, they wasn't asking me to play Dr. Zhivago. They were asking me to play a world champion boxer. So I was going to be okay with the acting part of things. I mean, I had to do some intricate scenes with, you know, the thought of going to jail and prison and stuff like that. And I'd done pretty well. They offered me a job to stay out there, to be honest, but at that stage in my career, I hadn't won a world title yet, and all my life was about winning a world title. So I couldn't take them up on the offer. But it was intimidating, I'm not going to lie. I mean, the first time I met Sly was strange, and then to live alongside them for 3 months is just mad.
Wow.
An amazing experience. I'll be forever indebted to Ryan Coogler, the director of Creed 1 and the director of Black Panther. He was amazing, he really was, and he made me believe in myself, because I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. I've never acted before, I had no acting experience. But like I said before, they didn't exactly ask me to play a surgeon, they asked me to play a box, so it wasn't too hard. And we done a good job, I'd like to think so. So yeah, it came out okay. Creed got rave reviews. I mean, we're on to Creed 3 now. And Adonis Creed is still flying it strong, so good on him. But yeah, pretty Ricky Conlon is back out of jail. He appears in Creed 3. I think that's his send-off, thankfully. Basically, because I can't get in any shape anymore. I'm fat and past it. And I just don't fancy losing any more weight. I had to crash diet for that Creed 3. It really did, and it killed me, so I don't want to do it again.
What I find interesting is you went from being one of the best in an industry, you went from being a world champion boxer to, respectfully, a novice actor. You had no experience. Working with Stallone and Michael B. Jordan, going from the best to being new at something, did you almost like not being the best at something again? I'm curious.
But in boxing, I would like to say the fighters are the greatest liars in the world. You see fighters sit on a press conference table on the week of a fight, and they're telling you the best lies they've ever done. They're sitting on a table, they're absolutely weight trained to the limit. They've gone through 12 weeks of hell. Every injury in the book they've sustained. Yet they sit on a table and tell thousands of people in a room, I'm in the best shape of my life, I feel absolutely fantastic, this is the best camp I've ever had, you know, my weight's bang on, and they're reeling out these lies when the truth be known, these guys are sitting on a table that are absolutely fucked. They've crashed weight, they've probably got about 10 different injuries they can't disclose before the fight, and they're telling you, I feel great, I'll look $1 million, and you're lying through your teeth. So doing the acting wasn't really hard at all, to be honest. I've been lying to focus for years.
Do you have any advice for someone that's looking to try something new or completely, I understand it wasn't completely out of your comfort zone, but it was different. Do you have any advice for people that are maybe looking to try something new or different?
Advice on trying new things, it would be, don't half do jobs. If you're going to do something, throw yourself at it all the way in. There's no point in being halfway in on something because you're only going to get half the results that you'd really want. Fully immerse yourself in whatever it is you choose to do. That's the only thing I could really say because that's the only thing I've ever really done. When it came to boxing, I was never a talented athlete. Everybody in the gym was a far better athlete than me. As you can see, when you look at me on screen, aesthetically, I'm not the guy with the muscles and the six-pack. I've had to diet and kill myself at times to get them things. By the way, six-packs are overrated. I'd much rather have the pizza and have a beer. But, yeah, I've had to do these things, but you fully immerse yourself and give it everything you've got. You'll never once you've done the hard work and you find yourself working hard, you'll never look back and go, I regretted working hard on anything you do, because you'll only get good results from it. So, yeah, I'm a product of my environment, and I'm somebody who gave boxing absolutely everything I had. I couldn't have given it no more. If anything, I probably gave it too much, because boxing came first in my life. It came before my kids. It came before my wife. And it's embarrassing to say that, but before having kids and having me missus, I had this dream of being a world champion boxer. And until I achieved that and reached that goal, boxing came first. So when I was fighting as a professional, if the kids' parents even was coming around, I'm too busy, I'm tired, I'm training. Yep. On down days, I'm tired, I'm not going anywhere, we're not going to the park today because I'm working, I need to rest, or I'm away for 2 months at a time because I've got to go away to camp. And I was the most selfish person in the world, I really was. But at the same time, people say to me, well, look where your kids live now, look at the lifestyle your kids have. Yes, they do, but it still doesn't take away how selfish I've been and make me feel guilty every day. But they are receiving the benefits of all that hard work and that selfishness that I showed. Now, you know, they have great lives. I've got my eldest kid into university, which I never thought would be possible. From the background I'm from, university was never an option for me. There was no doctors or surgeons anywhere where I grew up. My son's training in university to be a physiotherapist. I didn't even know what a physiotherapist was until I went on my first GP squad. I didn't know what the word even meant. And my eldest son is now in university studying to be one. So, yeah, it's I come from a different way of life, but if I can achieve it, then there's nothing anybody in this room can achieve that you know, that you don't set your mind to. I really do believe that.
Well, I love the segue. Yeah, absolutely. I love the segue because now I want to transition into a more recent part of your life. First things first, how did that all come about? Did it just go from...
Which one?
Well, no, I mean, obviously, successful in your field, successful in acting. Did it just kind of come about that TV shows kind of opened up their opportunities? People want to know more about who Tony Bellew was?
I kept saying no, to be totally honest. And I'd rejected lots of shows. I've rejected Dancing on Ice about 10 times, and I will reject it because I want to stay married. I've kept rejecting shows, and if I'm being totally honest, a couple of years ago, I didn't employ my wife, but I started giving her more of a shout with my agency things, and she's basically just pimped me out every fucking chance she's got, because she wants her house doing, and I've got a big house, and she wants it all fucking renovating, and this is what these bleeding shows are doing. So to cut it short, if they're paying, I'm playing. And that's down to her. I was leading a happily quiet life. And now I'm on every bastard TV show there is, but I've got limits. To be fair, I'd done the Celebrity SAS because I hadn't long lost my brother-in-law after when I was fighting. And I'd not long retired at that stage, and I just thought, I was in a bit of a dark spot in my life. So I went on that show to try and just figure out what was going on. And they're really smart individuals, they really are. I get on great with that Middleton, he's a diamond of a fella. So the SAS thing, I'd done that, figured out where I was, and I was on literally the verge of breaking point. That helped me figure out quite a bit. And then, as for the jungle, where do I start? My wife pimped me out, basically, she just sent me. So no, I went in the jungle, and my wife was turning 40 in December last year, and I'm in a position, you know, I've done all right in life and it's worked out okay. She's got all the material things you can buy, you know, the rings and the jewelries and the cars and all that stupid nonsense, all the material things. And you realise after a while they don't really mean much. So I wanted to give her something that money really couldn't buy, an experience, and she's always wanted to go to Australia. So I'm not going to lie, I thought, I'll go to Australia. I'll spend 6 days in the jungle, how bad can it really be? I don't really watch it that much. And I thought, I'll get voted out after about 5 or 6 days. No one really likes Scousers. And I thought, I'll get chased. Fucking hell, who's going to vote for the Scouser? And I'll have a lovely luxury holiday, all expenses paid, with all my family. My wife's got the time of her lifetime. She gets to experience Australia. Lo and be fucking old. I'm only in there 3 weeks later. I've lasted every bastard day possible. She's had a luxury holiday of her lifetime for 2 weeks, and I've come out, lost 10 kilos in weight, and I've been tortured for 3 weeks and starved. I lost 10 kilos in weight in there, don't worry, I've found 9.5 of them now. I lost them for a little bit, but I found them again, and I met some psychopath called Sam. So yes, it was just nuts, like I couldn't explain to you. It was an amazing experience. Ant and Dec are just absolute legends of the TV world, and they were even better to meet in person. And yeah, I mean, I loved Marvin Humes, I loved Nick off Ollie Oaks, and it was just an amazing experience. Sam's a lovely, lovely lad. He's a diamond. I'm so happy he won it. I really am. I mean, my greatest victory was just beating Nigel Farage. Thank God I beat him. Jesus Christ. I couldn't have went home if Farage had beat me. I really couldn't have. The jungle was an amazing experience, and it was very difficult, I'm not going to lie. When it comes to the starvation, and it is everything you see, if not worse. The boredom in there is real, it's hard. My strategy would be to work myself to the core. Every morning I would get up and I would work non-stop for like 4 to 5 hours on the spin. I would then need some kind of nap or sleep because I had 0 calories in my body. I was in such a deficit every day, because I couldn't eat any of the food, which I'm sure some of you have seen. I didn't eat anything, and if anything I did eat, it's because it was in a trial, and I was forced, drinking that shite, it knocked me sick. And as I say, that's the reason I lost weight, but I'd have a sleep in the afternoon, and I swear to God, like an ongoing record, I would wake up in the afternoon, and I would wake up and Sam would be that close to my face. And I'd just be like, piss off, mate, enough's enough. But we had a great time, a lovely, lovely lad. Everyone was great in there, and I had the time of a lifetime. So yeah, very grateful for the experience, and I'm sure a lot of you people in this room voted for me. I can't thank you enough. Thank you very much. I mean, I don't know why you'd vote for a big dopey Scouser like me, but you did. Thank you. I tried.
One reason why I liked watching you in that show is you got to work with people from various backgrounds. Like when you were in boxing, you worked with people that were in boxing. When
yes.
you worked in Hollywood, you worked with people that were in Hollywood. But now on those reality shows, you're working with people from different backgrounds. And I asked this question because with NMBS here tonight, we have a lot of people from different backgrounds, but they share a mutual set of values of strengthening communities and uplifting each other and yes. Spreading the love around and sharing business, etc. Do you have any advice for people when they're in an environment working with people that they may not be used to or just new environments in general?
My philosophy has always been I'm no better and I'm no worse than any other person in this room. What I've done doesn't define who I am. What I've achieved doesn't make me any different than anybody else. We're all human beings at the end of the day. Black, white, yellow, pink, purple, green. I don't care what you are, you're the same. We're all the same inside. So treat everyone the way you expect to be treated yourself. I just live by them morals and them codes, really. And if you can do that, you'll go far.
Absolutely. I do want to talk to you about Tony Bellew as it stands today, right? You've been doing a lot of work in your community, reinvesting in businesses and things like that, and helping the people that are from where you're from and maybe supported you in your career.
Yeah.
What are you working on? Any projects we should know about?
We worked really hard at Weapons Down, Gloves Up, which we got just under 200 children, well, just over, sorry, 200 children off the streets. They were called NEETs. It's neither in education or employment or training. And we got these people off the streets into full-time employment. And a lot of them people are still in full-time employment today. So I was determined to show kids, and not just kids, it was anyone up to the age of 25. So there was a lot of people who had left school. Just because you're not academically bright, just because you don't do well in school doesn't mean that's the end of the road. I didn't do well in school, you know, and I'm not saying this, I don't expect not everyone can be a world champion boxer, but there's so many people, and I believe the curriculum in school now is far outdated. They're not teaching people in school how to create businesses. They're not teaching people how to manage money. They're not teaching people how to, you know, pay the taxes or sort the tax out. There's so many things that the curriculum doesn't attend to and help. You know, why aren't we teaching kids now to be entrepreneurs in school? Why aren't we teaching kids to grow businesses, grow, you know, help them sell things or do whatever? Because how many people in this room have actually came out of school and used what you were taught in the I'm not talking about going, there'll be specialists in this room, I'm sure you're all amazing at what you do, but how many people from the first year of school went in to end the senior school and have used what you were taught in them in your actual day-to-day life, in your day-to-day work now? Speaking personally, I've had every job under the sun, from daytime security to nighttime security, from being a labourer to being a lifeguard, to working in retail, to working as a junior accountant, trying to be one of them. I've done an AAT, and I haven't, the values that I learned in school and the education, none of it crossed over, and I just feel they're left to just do nothing now, and I think there's a huge market to help the youth, and not just the youth, the people who didn't do well academically, and that's what we were doing at Weapons Down. So I just believe in helping as many people as possible. I'm no longer chasing the pound note, as my wife is for me these days, to be honest, but I'm no longer chasing money. Everyone needs money. I'm not naive and I'm not stupid. I've been skint. I've been fighting and out of the pot to pissing. I've had broken hands and no money to pay the mortgage, so I've had to do some crazy things in my life to earn money. So I don't speak from a place of I've done okay now, I'm in a financially better place. I'm speaking to you as someone who's been skint, who's been fighting for every penny he's got, and I've realised when I've got to a position of financial security that money isn't everything. I'd take happiness over money every single day of the week, I really would. And as I say, that is the most important thing to me. Are you happy? Are you happy? Can you look yourself in the mirror? Are you an honest person? And are you out there helping others? Because by helping others, believe you me, in the long run, it will help you. Mm-hmm. So that's what I code, a few more codes I live by, to be honest, Code.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I want to close. We've talked about Tony the kid, Tony the boxer, Tony the actor, the celebrity, the philanthropist. I want to close with Tony the father. 4 sons. I want to make sure I get the 4 C's right. Corey, Kobe, Carter, and Carson.
Quebec, thank you.
Now, I'm sure we have some parents that are here tonight. Any similarities between your experiences in life, whether in the boxing ring or in front of the camera, to being a parent, anything that you were able to transition with, and any advice for maybe the parents or maybe soon-to-be parents here tonight?
Wow. I don't know if I've got the answer to that. If there was a book on parenting, I'm sure it'd be the biggest best-selling book in the world. Every kid I've got's different. I love them with all my heart. Spend as much time with your kids as you possibly can, and you'll never regret it. I mean, I'm busy, and I'm busier now than I was when I was fighting, but I'm able to spend more quality time with them now, if that makes sense. Yeah. When I was fighting, my sole goal was just winning and fighting, and my life was dedicated to boxing. Lockdown was the best period, one of the best periods in my life. I got to know my son, my eldest son, and just by being at home for them 12, 18 months, cooking a meal every night, it was the best time in my life, it really was. I genuinely wish we could go into lockdown every January because my family just doesn't stop. Us sitting down at a table every night and me cooking the tea, she does the cleaning, she does the homeschooling. Yeah, that's way beyond my head. I can't be doing with that, but they were lovely times, and spend as much time with your kids as you can. You really do, because it'll soon pass. I mean, my father's in the first stages of dementia, and he's just been diagnosed with epilepsy. I'm trying to spend as much time with him as I can. And I know parents shouldn't say this, but I know for a fact this is right, and I'm going to say it anyway. I'm my dad's favourite son by an absolute mile. I'm one of 4 boys, and my brothers would just not sit there and go, "We fucking know, dickhead." But like, my dad literally idolises and adores me, because, like I said before, I'm the pit bull that he always wanted. I'm the one who done all the things that he dreamt of doing. So, and I just hope my kids will look at me the way I used to look at my dad, and then hopefully, you know, we pass it on through our family. But spend as much time with your kids as you can, man. Don't ever, you'll never regret it.
I can tell you, I appreciate what you said. My father suffers from dementia, so I appreciate what you said, and you've been incredible tonight. You've imparted a lot of wisdom on not only myself, but the people here, so I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for joining NMBS tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, one more round of applause. He's been incredible. Your special guest, Bomber, Kody Bellew, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate all of you guys. Thank you very much.